evening and welcome to the Weekend News this Sunday night. Our lead story, a call for Islamic principles to be introduced in the fight against crime, and this call comes from Imam Fazir Shagir, one of the Shagwanis Masjid leaders, who says introducing these penalties may be the only remaining line of defense against criminal elements, as Golda Lee Bruce reports.
As Muslims across the country celebrated Eid al-Fitr, the end of the holy month, one imam who opened his doors to the media is making a call for Islamic principles to be implemented outside of Islam.
Look at the crime that we have. People would look at places like Saudi Arabia and say, look, they're barbaric. The measures they take are drastic and draconian. But if we do not put down our foot and take draconian measures, reporter, you know what would happen? We would continue living in jails and burglar-proof and all on our windows and our doors, and the thief would be living in comfort outside.
He says our nation's jails have become holiday camps for criminals, while the ordinary man builds his own prison in order to feel safe. Imam Shagir says it's time for us to do what is necessary to rescue our country. He says it seems justice is only for a few.
We have to be harsh with them, because if we are not, when they kill a policeman, when they attack a minister, when they do something to those people in the upper echelon of society, we get results. They work, but the poor man on the street, he ain't getting that. You think he's satisfied with that?
Speaking to CNC3 following his address to brethren at the masjid, Imam Shagir also expressed his dissatisfaction with the level of representation in the area. He says he has been pleading with the relevant authorities for an access road to the place of worship.
We are dissatisfied. We are dissatisfied. It's a total disgust, because it was simple thing that we asked for. Simple thing that we asked for. They clean the road for Eid, they would come and clean the road, and that's what we get. But say what? We want something more than that. We want access to the mosque. We've been asking for parking facilities and things like that. We want that. That is what we want. That is what satisfies us.
As believers gathered to worship, they were reminded about the importance of learning and growing from the sacrifices made during the month of Ramadan. For CNC3, I'm Golda Lee Bruce.
And the Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, is extending best wishes to the Muslim community today as it celebrates Eid al-Fitr. She says Muslims have taught all of us by their example the essence of sacrifice, patience, tolerance and charity. The Prime Minister also says that as we celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence, members of the Muslim community must be congratulated for their dedication to national development, for their hard work and patriotism. She says the nation looks forward to even greater achievements and progress within the Muslim community. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar says she hopes the sacrifice of all Muslims gains them the mercies and blessings of their sustainer. Now, the Commander-in-Chief instructs the Defence Force to review its role and strategies to combat what he describes as the enemy within. Addressing officials gathered at the 50th Annual Commander-in-Chief Parade, the President, George Maxwell Richards, says since he assumed office, there has been a tsunami of crime, and it's not just a problem for the police, as Golda Lee Bruce reports.
President George Maxwell Richards brought a sense of sobriety to the event, which until that time had been mostly about celebration. But the president was unapologetic about bringing the very serious issue of crime to the fore. He says since he took office in 2003, there's been a tsunami of crime that is threatening our democracy.
While we have not had to defend our borders against an external enemy, there is an enemy that has been increasing within our borders.
He says although some may believe that the crime is only a matter for the police, the duty of the Defence Force is to protect the sovereignty of our nation, and this is exactly what seems to be under threat.
The Defence Force must consider a review of role and strategy if it is to keep in step with what needs to be done to achieve the massive turnaround.
The president says change is needed urgently, and we must begin by first establishing that all within the ranks are totally committed. He says the recruitment policy is critical and there must be periodic review of all personnel.
The presence of a person wearing one of our uniforms should impart a sense of security. Speaking as your commander-in-chief, it is part of the contract between ourselves and the public at large.
As he wished the Defence Force happy 50th anniversary, President Richards reminded its members that 50 is an age of maturity, accountability and responsibility, and they are without excuse if they fail to read the signs of the times. For CNC3, I'm Golda Lee Bruce.
2 more murders have been recorded, and in the latest incident, police are investigating the death of a 63-year-old Barrackpore woman. Reports are that the 63-year-old Leah Deonarine Singh went to bed last night, but when her blind husband called out to her from another room, there was no response. He called a neighbor, and that neighbor discovered Leah on her bed with her head bashed in. No weapon was found, and South Homicide detectives are continuing to conduct investigations. In yet another incident, a 26-year-old Andal Fields was with friends at around 11 o'clock at Independence Avenue, San Fernando last night. At that time, he got into an altercation with another man. That man drew a knife and stabbed young Fields in the chest. Fields was rushed to the San Fernando General Hospital, where he died. Eyewitnesses are assisting the police, and an arrest in that case is imminent. Police say that the suspect is known to them. The Oilfield Workers Trade Union is calling on TNTEC's management to stop hiring errant contractors. This demand comes just 1 day after the death of Gayadeen Lukur of Ramjon Trace Penal. He was a TNTEC contractor who fell to his death while on the job. Otto Carrington has more.
The OWTU says this is the 5th death for the year at TNTEC, and the union is calling on management to put its house in order. The OWTU president, Ansel Roger, says an investigation must take place. The union president called on the commission to remove errant contractors who breach health and safety and the collective bargaining process.
There's something wrong with the way in which they are managing and the whole question of safety at TNTEC. 1, we are calling for the removal of all errant contractors, all contractors who are with the records of serious and numerous work injuries and fatalities.
It was on Saturday that Gayadeen Lukur of Ramjon Trace Penal, a TNTEC contractor employed by NS Contractors, was working on a light pole on the southern main road in Point Fortin. Reports are that a noise was heard and the man fell off his ladder. Mr. Roger says that these contractors take serious risk, and some are known for numerous health and safety violations.
All of our external regulators, namely the OSH Authority, the RIC, Line Ministry, and we want to pay particular attention to the Industrial Court, which when those matters reach the court does not give justice to the strict adherence to the collective agreement, and then we find at the end of the day, those contractors are back out. Of course, the management continue in their errant ways.
OWTU says the systems for hiring contracts must be reviewed since the work can be done by TNTEC employees. OWTU Vice President Peter Burke noted that the union will be vigilantly attempting to uncover the reasons why errant contractors are being rehired at the commission.
We have contractors with more than one fatality recorded against them, and they are being brought back on the system like business as usual. And the OWTU will not tolerate this anymore.
For CNC3, I am Otto Carrington.
And from here, let's look at what's coming up in the sports news. That's right after this break. The double Olympic bronze medalist Lalonde Gordon returns to Tobago to a hero's welcome, his first visit back home since his bronze medals. And Canada's head coach urges the Soca Warriors to rebuild after their recent 2-0 defeat in Florida, while South Africa close in on Test cricket's biggest prize. We'll tell you all about the battle at Lord's between cricket's heavyweights, and that's next.
Need fishing gear? Yes, we have that too. With over 60 years experience, fishing rods, garden tools, paint, product spare parts, plumbing, bathroom, lumber, steel, and all other hardware supplies at competitive prices. Southern Wholesale Stores Limited. Visit our website or come in today at 185 Union Road, Marabella. Southern Wholesale Stores Limited. More than just a hardware.
Back to school troubles? Let us take away your worries. Shop at Keith Cann's Books Etc. in Port of Spain and San Fernando. You'll not only notice the difference in service, but the difference in your wallet. No one beats our prices. You can also email your child's book list at info@keithcannsbooksetc.com or fax 657-0468 in San Fernando or 623-1201 in Port of Spain, and we'll prepare it for collection. Keith Cann Books Etc. Your partner in education.
When it was announced, the suspense was over. And then when I looked at the contestants behind me and all around me, I realized what it meant for Trinidad and Tobago. What makes me proud about Trinidad and Tobago? It's really the spirit of the people. We are a beautiful people. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting to #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
Listen up, people, to this spot about rainbow products and why they're hot. Corned beef's not the only thing they've got, so put a rainbow in your pot. Canned and dried goods just for you. Vienna sausages and tuna too. Oil milk, rice, peas, and carrots, so put a rainbow in your pot.
Now that's a lot.
That's right, I said a lot. So put a rainbow in your pot. Yeah, put a rainbow in your pot. Put a rainbow in your pot.
The Rainbow range of first-class food products, available nationwide.
A recommitment to people to protect Trinidad and Tobago, and that cost comes from the Chief of Defence Staff, Brigadier Kenrick Maraj. It was a day of pride, celebration and remembrance as the Defence Force held its 50th Commander-in-Chief Parade. Golda Lee Bruce has more.
50 years in uniform as this country's first defence against external and internal threat. A milestone that was proudly celebrated by all of the men and women who participated in Saturday's parade. Here at the Chaguaramas heliport, members of the TTDF displayed their discipline and diversity in a ceremonial march, paying tribute to their peers and the many who have marched in their boots before.
It is on the basis of their efforts that we can stand proud today on the strength of well-established customs, traditions, and core values. It's on the basis of the sacrifices made by our predecessors that we continue to serve this country with courage, loyalty, integrity, mutual respect, and discipline.
But even as they showed off their manpower and equipment, Brigadier Kenrick Maraj reaffirmed the TTDF's commitment to its primary mandate.
To the government and citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we pledge our lives to thee. We are your warrior servants, there for you in whatever circumstance. We walk with rifles in one hand and shovels in the other. We will continue to serve this blessed republic with unswerving loyalty and with a profound willingness to make the ultimate sacrifice.
The TTDF also unveiled its new Defence Force colours, flag and logo in commemoration of 50 years of service and 50 years of independence. For CNC3, I'm Golda Lee Bruce.
More relief for residents in Diego Martin, and this time it comes in the form of medical treatment from the Forum of Indian Nationals living here in Trinidad and Tobago. The medical professionals hosted a health clinic in the area today with understanding that disease often follows floods. Otto Carrington has more.
A week has passed and relief is still pouring into the region of Diego Martin after last weekend's devastating floods. But this relief didn't come in the traditional form of a mattress or a hamper. Instead, a team of medical professionals offered free medical treatment to the residents. Offering the service was the Forum of Indian Nationals in Trinidad and Tobago, a body of Indians who work and live in TNT. Honorary member of the forum, Dr. Sudhakar Reddy, says Indian nationals have gained so much from TNT, they wanted to give back.
This country given a job and a bread and butter, why we cannot help them? Then we say yes. We gather all the doctors, all my medics and the paramedics, and then nurses and the pharmacists and the academics and everybody. We bankers, all the Indian people who live in Trinidad and Tobago and the Indian nationals, right, who is living in this country. We came together, we say, yes, we're going to form one group, and whenever they need, we can go and help them.
The forum is sponsored by Bhagwan Singh and Dan Steel Hardware and supported by the Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross and the Northwest Regional Health Authority. Dr. Reddy explains what will be offered to the flood victims and anyone else who wants a checkup.
If you have a cold and cough and any minor injuries, any infectious diseases, any diseases, if anybody come and see the doctor side, if it's not possible to treat in this facility, we're going to refer them to the major hospitals. And here we're going to provide pharmacy, we have medications, and we have a dentist is here, and we have a basic things like checking the blood pressure, we're checking the diask and check the sugar.
He thanks the Red Cross for mobilizing residents to come to the clinic for treatment.
All the community, and they're going to inform them and bring it back with all the patients.
Will you all move from here and go in, or you'll just set up your own?
Only this place today. Because the Red Cross is helping the mobilize all the patients.
And bringing the patients.
And bringing the patients also by they are in some transport also, I believe so.
For CNC3, I am Otto Carrington.
There are no playgrounds or savannas for the children of Mafeking village in Mayaro. While some youngsters play on the dangerous road with their makeshift box carts and bicycles, others now use this spot in an almond tree. Vinu Lal says he built a tree house for his children, and this has attracted other youngsters from the community.
The tree house up about a year now. Yeah, but my little boy used to climb up on the tree now, so I decided to do a little thing there for him. Yeah, they enjoy it? Too bad. Right now all the children around the area just come and play here. Yeah. The only problem with us here is with the vehicles when the children play now. We're getting all the speed bump in the road.
The young girls of the community have transformed the tree house into a giant dollhouse, and for the boys, there's a lookout spot. Lal says residents of the area want the relevant authorities to install speed bumps along the road. Many children continue to use this as a play area.
Yeah, because this is not only my children's play here, you know. Yeah, from the village, everybody, all them children's come and play here.
We'll be back with tonight's sport news. We'll have all the highlights for you as the bronze medalist Lalonde Gordon returns to Tobago and enjoys a hero's welcome. The Soca Warriors under focus as Canada's head coach urges them to rebuild after their recent defeat in Florida. And it's all eyes on cricket too as South Africa closes in on Test cricket's biggest prize.
It's gonna be a great day. Got my ginseng up, hey. Let's focus, people. Come on and get it sorted. Get more out of your day. Get things done efficiently. Let's go with it. Come on and just drink it, people. Drink it up now. Drink it up now. Ginseng up now. Ginseng up now. Oh. Enjoy the new look and send great takes today. Ginseng up, the roots of all power.
Train with Students Accountancy Centre Limited. We offer full-time courses starting in early September 2012 for FIA Foundations in Accountancy at ACCA, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. With over 25 years of experience in accountancy tuition, our lecturers are all ACCA qualified and dedicated to the welfare of their students. Attend our open day at the Chaguanas branch on Saturday, 1st September from 10 a.m. Qualifying accountants is what we do best. Registration now in progress for full-time classes starting in early September 2012.
To be equal, to live in a society that responds to you without prejudice, to be treated fairly no matter what your background may be, regardless of race or religion, regardless of geographic location, gender, or any disability you may have. It's not just an idea we should live by, but an ideal that our children can look up to, that our communities can aspire to, that our employers must embrace. But it's more than that. It is the right of every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. It is a right that is championed and upheld by the Equal Opportunity Commission. The EOC is about educating, breaking down barriers, and eliminating obstacles to truly empower people on the basis of their merit. This is the mission of the Equal Opportunity Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. Equality is everyone's dream. It's everyone's right.
It's here again, Prices Supermarket's anniversary celebrations, where you can win 3 pairs of tickets to Tobago, 2 32-inch LCD televisions, lots of mini appliances and more. Prices Supermarket, Eastern Main Road, El Dorado, just off Cora Junction. It's super deals at super quality, now open at Trin City Industrial Estate. More than an acre of shopping. Get super deals on supermarket, kitchen, dining, electronics and more. Look out for hamper giveaways and great deals. Now open at Trin City Industrial Estate. Super deals at super quality. A&K Production presents Trinidad versus the rest of the world at the Centre of Excellence, Mokoya, on Saturday, September 15th from 7 p.m. Featuring live in concert, Dave and Radhika from India's Choti Bahu series, Sassy, exclusive from Holland, New York Music Machine, and our own Dilly Nadan and B-Mobile Shiv Shakti Dance Group. General admission $150, reserved $300, special reserved $400. Call us for VIP or VVIP information.
Bishop was an artist and musician. Born in Trinidad, she received a national scholarship after her secondary school education at Bishop Anstey High School. She attended King's College, Durham University, where she studied art. Upon her return to Trinidad and Tobago, she taught at her alma mater for some time. Later, she would go on to study history at the University of the West Indies in Jamaica and then lectured both the Mona and St. Augustine campuses for 8 years. Leader of the Lydian Choir and conductor of the Desperado Steel Orchestra, she received an honorary doctorate from the University of the West Indies in 1994. In that same year, she received the Trinity Cross, then the nation's highest award. She is credited with the training of several of Trinidad and Tobago's most accomplished vocalists and, at her most prolific, led the Lydian singers through roughly 30 concerts a year. Bishop has been recognized around the region for her contribution to the arts and national culture, and in particular, the development of the steel pan. She passed away in 2011 at the age of 71.
The 50 most influential personalities since independence. We want your view via text on Facebook and online at 50tt.guardian.co.tt. The double Olympic bronze medalist Lalonde Gordon returned to Tobago for the first time since the Olympic Games today to a hero's welcome at the A&R Robinson International Airport. Among those welcoming home the Tobago boy were the Deputy Secretary for Youth Affairs and Sport, Huey Cadet, the Minority Leader, Ashworth Jack, and many family, friends, and of course fans of the sprinter. A rather tired Gordon stated he was happy to be home and was looking forward to spending time with his family.
It was a wonderful feeling, just going out there, give it all my best. Hopefully there's more to come from the years leading from now until 2016 in Rio.
Head coach of the Canada football team believes that the Soca Warriors are ideally placed to begin building a team for the future. After seeing his team defeat TNT by 2-0, coach Stephen Hart offered some words of encouragement to the national team of his homeland. He said, quote, "I thought they, TNT, had some very good players and maybe just a lack of playing time together for a little while, but there were moments in the game that I thought they moved the ball well and got into some good positions. It will now take some time, and to be honest, Trinidad has time. That's the Canadian head coach Stephen Hart commenting on the performance of Trinidad's football soca warriors. Now, this country's under-19 cricketers, they started their WICB regional under-19 one-day championships with a thumping 171-run victory over the Leeward Islands today, and it took place at Friendship in Barbados. After being put in, Nicholas Puran struck 102 from just 71 balls as he led TNT to a formidable 332 for 6 from their 50 overs. Stephen Warwood contributed 84, while Anthony Simmons hit an unbeaten 58. The TNT boys then followed up their batting with a detrimental bowling performance to skittle the Leewards out for 161 runs in 43.2 overs. Anthony Simmons finished with 3 wickets. Meanwhile, Trinidad and Tobago women's cricketers went down by 16 runs to Jamaica in the final of the WICB Regional Women's 2020 tournament today. After winning the toss and batting at Sabina Park, the opener, Stephanie Taylor, struck an unbeaten 57 to lead the hosts to 101 for 5 in their 20 overs. And in response, TNT's girls struggled in their chase. Only Brittany Cooper put up any real resistance with 18, while Deandra Doughton made just 17. TNT, they were bowled out for 85 in 18.2 overs, having to settle for the runners-up position. And the West Indies under-19s will take on New Zealand's under-19s across in Townsville, Australia tonight in the second quarter final of the ICC Under-19 World Cup. They've won the toss and elected to bat first. Now, across at Lord's, South Africa are just 8 wickets away from becoming cricket's #1 team in the world. The visitors started day 4 of the third and final test against England on 145 for 3 in their second innings. Hashim Amla carried on from 57 overnight to score his 16th Test century. Batting with Jack Callis, both batsmen put on 81 for the third wicket before Callis went for 31. Amla also shared in a 95-run stand with A.B. de Villiers, who scored 43. South Africa, they were eventually bowled out for 351 runs, setting England a record of 346 runs to keep their world #1 status. With just about an hour to play, Vernon Philander struck twice in his first spell to remove both British openers. Alistair Cook went leg before for 5, while Andrew Strauss followed in same fashion for 3. And England, they're stuttering at 16 for 2, needing a further 330 runs on day 5 with just 8 wickets left. Okay, so that's how the sports news of the day looks. Let's take a break and we'll be back.
Cricket, lovely cricket. Our cricketers, our heroes, a nation forged from the love of cricket.
Come celebrate Trinidad and Tobago's half-century with 2020 for 50 Cricket Festival, featuring the TNT and Jamaica national teams and our very own Brian Lara and Darren Ganga all-star teams with regional and international cricket stars. Queen's Park Oval, August 24th to 26th. 2 games daily, 2:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. Get your 2020 for 50 tickets today at selected sports and games outlets and Queen's Park Ticket Outlet.
Regular eye examinations allow me to determine prescriptions that will let you see more clearly. They also help identify serious eye disorders, including